Oh, man. Look, it happened, dude. The Dolphins flexed on into Sunday Night Football, and that's Goosies galore. Dolphins, Chargers, the news coming through that the NFL is making that a prime time matchup, kicking out Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. Chiefs and Broncos no longer the primetime matchup that week. Who could blame him? I mean, Russell Wilson has his own teammates not wanting to even watch him anymore. And now we got the grand petty of them all right? Tua v. Herbert. And that, I mean, that is a juicy ass national TV headline. How could you not like it? You're going to have everything. It's built into it, you know? Two guys drafted back to back. One guy who everybody, thought was a generational mistake by the Dolphins not taking him in Justin Herbert. Now you have Tua Tagovailoa, who is shining bright this season, an MVP candidate, while Justin Herbert has not looked like the same guy, dealing with injuries, lack of weapons, things that Tua would call years 1 and 2. And I just think that this is just absolutely tremendous. And Tua, he is going to expose Justin Herbert like the liver king that he is, a complete fraud. Just built for the gram, dude. I can't wait for it. It's going to be unbelievably fun. And look, I was looking at this. I had to think over these next 3 games, which are all just completely juicy for the Dolphins. Between Dolphins versus Niners with Mike McDaniel, that's a little niche. I could see why that wasn't the national primetime matchup that they went with. This game against the Chargers or Dolphins and Bills. Maybe the Bills complained it's nighttime. Who knows what their excuse could be? Maybe they've been on Sunday Night Football too much. It felt like it either had to be Dolphins and Bills or Dolphins Chargers as one of the Sunday night go-to games. But this one is certainly one I'm excited for, definitely. Because, we talked about this even when the schedule came out. The Dolphins had a lot of juicy games throughout the entire year, whether it was their last Sunday night game when it was Brian Flores and that whole storyline. They had so many things. The only thing I think you probably go that would be one last spicy nugget is if you have like Dolphins and Chiefs at some point in the playoffs, obviously with Tyreek Hill getting an element of return there. But, we talked about some of the juice that was bled into this game this week with, the former 49ers teammates going at it on social media a little bit. This one, a dummy could write the script on this one. This has everything to it. You're going to have all the storylines, all the pundit takes that have been out there, which, I can't even tell you how many are just ridiculous to see. I saw a clip today on social media circulating of Terry Bradshaw giving Colin Cowherd the business, which I enjoyed very much because he was like, they were both kind of praising Tua. Right, Terry? And Colin, I don't believe you that you liked him. That's a terrible Bradshaw. But the point is, it's terrible Bradshaw for Terry Bradshaw. That's what it's short for. But he's like, Colin, you don't believe in him. And he's kind of like an evil Jerry Jones. I don't know what I'm doing there. Anywho, it's like Giddy Hillbilly. But Terry Bradshaw was just like giving Colin, he's like, they're praising him because, but you don't really believe in him. And, he's like, no, I'm more of a burro. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen type of guy. Oh, wow. You really go out on a limb there, Colin. The guy that you do a podcast with and the guys who are regarded as the 2 front runners for MVP going into the season. Way to go out on a limb there, Cowherd. And then this Chris Sims. Amazing he was able to get reception from hell. I saw one of his clips where he was like, oh, the Dolphins need to be recognized as a force. Imagine having the balls to go on your podcast or television show or whatever the hell you want to call it and say that after ranking Tua the 29th quarterback in the league and saying, oh, now they need to be recognized as a force. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. Right on time. Thank you for, acknowledging that the team leading the AFC East, that everybody thought you were going to roll a red carpet out for the Buffalo Bills. Thank you. Appreciate that, Chris Sims. Let me just, as an aside too, with these Buffalo Bills, can everybody just remember the Dolphins beat them? I know that the Buffalo Bills want to go out here and they want to blame the sun, but I'm seeing a lot of, the Dolphins have taken advantage of a soft schedule. Bullcrap. Okay, the Dolphins got off to an undefeated start this season and lost 3 games because their quarterback was not playing for them. He got stretchered off the field and was concussed for 2 games. And also, by the way, has anybody seen anybody? I'm genuinely asking this question so somebody can. Has anybody in the NFL been taken out since Teddy Bridgewater because of the spotter? I just want to know that. Has that been a thing? Because I don't believe it has been. I believe that was Fugazi protocols put in there for a week, much like when Stephen Ross put the Bullygate committee together for Richie Incognito scandal. I believe that this is the same thing that's going on here with the spot. Nobody's been taken out for spotter. But let's not ignore. I'm not going to allow everybody to sit here and say that the Dolphins have ridden high on a bunch of bum teams. First of all, Chicago with Justin Fields, everybody's smooching Justin Fields' ass over the last half of the season. So now all of a sudden you guys want to go out there and say that team sucks. The second thing is the Buffalo Bills were in a dogfight with the Detroit Lions. And everybody, even Tony, Jim, the Lions have arrived. But the Dolphins do it in their bums. And Cleveland, Cleveland's a mess and disgrace. Oh, they win in overtime this week against Tom Brady. But when the Dolphins took them on, bums. So, look, I'm not saying the Dolphins had a juggernaut schedule during this win streak. They certainly had no margin for error and had to take advantage, especially after the season got off to the start that it did, and then they lost 3 straight because their quarterback was hurt. Again, their quarterback, their MVP candidate, was not playing for them. But I just think that's been a nice little piece of revisionist history that I'm seeing some of the haters spout off at. I'll tell you another thing that's been amazing. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the Mike McDaniel mic'd up. If you haven't, the Dolphins YouTube page, go over there if you have to. Get loaded up on Goosies. It's goose through the roof is what it is, quite frankly. And a lot's been made of the Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, the anecdote that circulated during the broadcast. And, they're kind of just relaying as it is. You really get a great sense. We saw it a little bit with the Tua mic'd up, but you see even more here. And the coolest part to me was not the meme part, which was put out by Inside the NFL, where he's going clock, 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 clock. Nice. Not that part, although that was tremendous. And it wasn't, to me, where he's making fun of Tua Tagovailoa's trash technique from high school, jawing back and forth. And it wasn't even when he was making fun of Tua for declaring his swag. And he goes, people who declare swag don't have swag. It's when he's walking away, and he calls him a savant. And I was like, oh, Goosies. That was my favorite part. When he calls his quarterback, unbeknownst to his quarterback, a savant. Yeah, he knew he was mic'd up. Yeah, he knew that. But still, just letting it all people know, just so you know. You know what we just saw? Do you want to know what we just saw? Not a good quarterback. Not an elite quarterback. A savant. A philosopher. Beautiful. I just loved every piece of it. But Dolphins and Chargers flexed. Let's get it going, dude. I cannot wait for people are like, hey, you got plans on, and I never have plans on Dolphins. You gotta watch the Dolphins. That's what I gotta do on Sundays. But I'm not even in years past, I'm not gonna lie. You could DVR a game. I'll catch up on it. What is it? It's Dolphins and Jaguars. I can catch it a little bit later. These next 3 games are must see TV right as they're happening. Cannot wait. Super juiced up for it. Now we got ourselves a Sunday Night Football matchup to look forward to all mother bleeping day. And Tua gets to stick it to Justin Herbert and that Mike Tannenbaum and every one of these people. Oh, Brian Flores and all these people that was... Shut up.